favorites and fresh topics, some inspired by your suggestions. Allow me to introduce to you Toastmaster Christy Marie Rosa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just going to jump right into it. My first question or statement is, tell us about your favorite memory. This one is for DTM Carson Chase.
Well, it wasn't this morning. I got up and I polished the car and it was beautiful, and I looked at it this morning and said, "Ah, dude." I had to beat Jordan. You know it's coming somewhere. Try harder next time. Got to come up with another one. I grew up on a boat as a liveaboard boater, and my favorite memory was always anchored out on the Chesapeake Bay on the Corsica River with my parents. We'd get down Friday and unload everything into the boat, and Saturday we'd take off. And I could swim in the river. I had a little sport yak dinghy that was about this big, and I had to row the dog in to the beach 4 or 5 times a day. My mom would lower the dog down, a little schnauzer, lower her down in a towel, and I would be the dog, take her outer. And I told Jeff earlier today, we'd listen to the Indy 500. My dad would sit up on the flybridge and keep track of who was there. And just, those are the greatest memories I ever had growing up. Thank you.
Okay, my second one is, what fictional world would you enter? This one's for Lonnie.
Toastmasters. Ronnie.
Toastmasters.
Please speak up.
Yes, Master Carmelo, I will speak up.
Thank you.
And my favorite fictional world is obvious. I would love to have a time machine. DeLorean. Go hang out with Marty and Doc, why not? So 1955, 85, the 80s were amazing. The culture, the music, the movies, oh my gosh. The 70s, I would love to go back in time to that era of music, whether it was rock music, disco, it doesn't matter. Amazing bands, Queen, Led Zeppelin, and much more. Wow. Without further LaRue. That's my answer.
I love you, but I don't like you.
Oh.
Carmelo Boulevard.
Is that a love-hate relationship?
Whatever you want it to be.
I would ask others to raise their hand if they felt similarly, but I don't want to put you in that position. I have to admit that you hate me. Love. Benjamin Aurelia. I love that. Love-hate relationship. I see some people who love Toastmasters, at least one visitor, who don't necessarily hate the sun. Either that or you're saluting.
That or I'm blind.
Blind.
But thank you, you.
Eventually it will go away and you can bid it adieu.
Never mind, you got it.
So we don't use that word in Toastmasters, or we frown upon it.
Yep.
And one might say, without further ado, some of us cringe a little bit, but I looked it up, and in a sentence, a couple of different versions, one that stood out, and believe it or not, it's ciao, adieu, and a big fat cheerio, babe. Let's take it on. Cheerio.
Convince us aliens exist. Josh Harris. Toastmasters.
Fellow Toastmasters.
Convince you that aliens exist.
Just look around the room.
There you go.
Who honestly believes every single one of the human beings here is actually a human being from this very planet? I rest my case. Seriously, though, look around the universe. So many stars, so many planets. Is it really possible
in a place that we cannot fully even grasp it. We are the only ones on this fine little blue marble.
Yep.
Have you been there? Have you looked? Who's been to all the stars and planets? Raise your hand. I believe Jordan. Nevertheless, I must now bid you adieu to my home planet. I've said too much.
What if Toastmaster Kelly Betty?
Kelly,
What if? How can I do so much with such a little table topic? I remember in middle school going to the library and finding a slim little novel of science fiction stories titled What If? And the prompt itself drew me in, this idea of possibility. Unfortunately, the contents inside were a little disappointing. The content did not deliver in that novel. But as a whole, science fiction and fantasy has delivered. It's been something I return to time and time again for possibility. And one of my favorite science fiction novels that I've read recently is called A Memory of Empire. So I will simply leave you with that recommendation. What if you are actually a science fiction fan? Try out A Memory of Empire. Thank you. Tell us about a celebrity encounter, Toastmaster Amy White.
In the past, I really haven't liked table topics, and I would stand up here and bid you adieu and sit back down. But I do like this question. I was working in New York City in the fashion industry, and it was a rainy day, and I had a bunch of appointments to get to. So I had my umbrella, and where I needed to go, the streets were blocked off because Malcolm Forbes had passed, and it was the day of his funeral. So I was behind the church trying to get to where I was going, and my umbrella clashed with somebody else's. We both looked up, and I was looking at Elizabeth Taylor with tears streaming down her face, and I just said, "I'm so sorry." And she went into the back of the church and got really stuck with me.
Wow.
If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, Brandon Moore, Toastmaster Brandon Moore.
Speaking of not married, long ago.
It hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe.
People think that grass doesn't form water in the morning, but it did.
Yeah.
We're proud of you. I've been reading this book on anti-gravity. Can't put it down. How does Moses make his coffee? He brews it. And post question. And I'm sure it has a marvelous context. Hopefully someone else could do a speech on that and tell me about it. It gets stuck in your head. It's one of those songs that just kind of stays there. But it's a fun song, right? This morning I was thinking about something. We look back in life and we say, those were the good old days. And we're living the good old days. We're always living the good old days. We're going to look back here at Friday morning Toastmasters. We're going to say, these are the good old days. So let's live them like they're the good old days.
Who would you switch lives with for a day? Jeff Hood, Toastmaster Jeff Hood.
Distinguished? What?
Who would I like to exchange a day with?
Yes.
That's going to be easy for me. My youngest son, Mason Patrick Hood. He is the most awesome kid. Not kidding, he's fixing to be 25 next week. getting married in November. We get to go back to the Keys in Key Largo where he's going to have his wedding. He's my fishing buddy, he's my hunting buddy, he's my hanging out buddy, he's my everything buddy. He's just an awesome, awesome son. So if I could take anything back and have a do-over, I would trade places with my son, Patrick, any day of the week.
I'm sorry, I gotta call you out, girl, but I'm bougie, but I got ramen noodle money. Teresa Midday.
It's actually a fact. I love that.
Good morning. It's a great day to be grateful.
Good morning.
Starting, let's just say starting today, I'm gonna say I do. Because I've decided the rest of my life, I'm gonna be bougie, rich, and whatever I need and have, money flow easily and effortlessly into my life, right? Amen to that.
Ching ching.
Ching ching, there you go. Wow, what was that? Oh my, killed my mojo, that was it, sorry.
Give us your best fast food date experience. Toastmaster Ryan Hall.
Ryan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do they like fast food?
And I've never really gone on dates to get fast food. One of my first dates I went on was when I was 19, a couple years ago. And it was the California Pizza Kitchen in Waterford Lakes. I'd never been there before. And I ordered the macaroni. And the girl I went on the date with ordered literally just mozzarella. Like the fried mozzarella that you get. And I was staring at her eat it, and she likes to do the thing that people do when they get hot mozzarella, where they bite it and then they string it out, and I was like, oh, that's not great for a first date, is it? She did it on every single bite, so I said, okay, I'm gonna focus on my macaroni. About halfway through, it wasn't great macaroni, so I stopped eating it, and I just sat there for the rest of the time until it was over. She was a nice girl, but the mozzarella, I couldn't get past it.
What's the silliest thing you're pretty good at? Toastmaster Allison Richard.
Oh, I don't think I can do it. The silliest thing, I sometimes am called Jan Brady. I've done that. I also like that I love you, but I don't like you. I think I have one of those husbands. Either I say it or he says it. But it's a lot of fun. We gotta enjoy life. The Olympics, how about this? Fabulous, fabulous opening ceremonies. I love that you picked a do for the word. It's excellent. I hope everyone's enjoying it. Have a great weekend.
My apologies if I get your name wrong. I'm really trying here. Sometimes I park in handicap parking. Toastmaster Susan
Okay, so, okay, so sometimes I park in handicap parking. I don't like to do that generally. Because, handicapped people probably need that more than I do. If I go to work, I can make it wherever I gotta go. So generally, I don't park in handicap parking, but I there we go. Just for a second maybe, but overall, I don't usually park in handicap parking. I'm not really sure what the rest of that table topic consisted of. I was kind of hung up on the handicap parking. And I bid you adieu. I don't know how else to use that word.
What is the last bizarre thing you've experienced? Toastmaster Gary Adams.
Oh,
don't know if I had something bizarre that I experienced, but I was having a conversation just yesterday with my good friend Linda Miller. And we were talking about people that are charismatic. It's something that people strive to be. They want to be charismatic, they want to be influential, they want to be able to persuade people. But with that ability also becomes a responsibility. If you have a lot of charisma and you're persuasive, you should be responsible and understand that you could potentially actually sell ice to an Eskimo. But then there's a group of people that have charisma and will actually use that to take advantage of people. That's the way we do it. With that, adieu.
Share an intrusive thought. Toastmaster Jolene Tarek Caddick.
Yeah,
Intrusive thoughts. I think I'm going to try to combine that with a what if question, because I think that is a great question. I love how it inspires possibility, like Kelly Betty said. Because we, as humans, have really great imaginations, but oftentimes we use it for negative thoughts, like what if I come up here and make a fool out of myself, which I often have that thought, an intrusive thought that I have. But on the other side of that, what if I come up here and I do a great job and I win table topics? That would be really cool. But even if I don't win, every day that I come up here and present, I'm getting better and better, and I think that's worth it. So thank you, adieu.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? Toastmaster Benjamin Eurozio.
Benjamino.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I also go with any of those as been previously requested. I go with the if statement. If statement, it poses a challenge to all of us. Sometimes we can address the question, what about if I go or become a Toastmaster? That would be great. The first time I came to Toastmaster was from invitation from a friend. He said, oh, this is the most marvelous group. You're going to feel at peace. Well, first thing that I saw was table topics. At ease? No, I don't believe so. But it seems to me that that is an if question, very good, because it is a challenge. The more we face the challenge, the unknown, and we feel that we progress, then it is very good for us, because we can say, I did something good this time. For example, I have the invitation, what if the red light comes up?
Create a news headline you expect to see in 2044. Azad, Toastmaster.
Yeah, Bob.
I'm wondering how to answer to this question while English is not my first language. It's not even second. Third. English is my fourth language I had to learn before I turned 16. And my parents' language is Kurdish, which it is dear to me. But I had to learn Persian for the education, and I had to learn Turkish to communicate with my classmates and neighbors. But English was different because I decided to learn with passion and love. I was inspired by my father that told me stories about America, a country that won 2 world wars, gave the world science and technology, airplanes, radios, TVs, satellites, computers. And therefore, I'm very thankful for this language, for this group, and I'm sure I will learn a lot from all of you, and thank you for this class.
Everybody qualified.
Good job, Krista Marie.